G'day, this is Chrissy the artist from Chris Art. Today I'm going to talk about skin tones and the colours that I use in relation to Panpastels and my paintings. I also use soft pastels and pastel pencils for details. What I'm going to do here is introduce the colours that I normally use. Now, Panpastels already have a portrait set. I've made my own little set, and of course, you can practice and try things, and these are the colours that I like to use. So what I'm going to do here is swatch some colours down and show you how they look on the paper. The paper that I'm using today is is Hannah Mule 130 GSM, 60 pound, and it's 100% cotton. So here we go. This is Paynes Grey Extra Dark 840.1. These Panpastels are extremely pigmented, and you don't need to use a lot, and you can, I'm just trying to get just a few more layers in so you can see the tools that I'm using to that I'm using to paint with today are soft tools, SOFFT by Panpastels, and I'm using a paper towel to wipe my tool or my sponge so it doesn't contaminate the other pans when I'm using it. So here we go. Neutral grey shade. This is 820.1. Next one. It's Raw Umber Extra Dark 780.1. And these are the darks that I like to use when I'm perhaps when I'm outlining a jaw, or if I'm shading in some way. Let's put a little bit more on that. And of course, a little goes a long way. These are going to last a long time. Next one. Red Iron Oxide Extra Dark. This is one that I use quite a bit. And the next one, Burnt Sienna Extra Dark 740.1. Now, I use Pastel Matte is probably the paper that I use the most. But there's a lot of really good papers out there that you can use. Now, for the purposes of here, I just don't want to contaminate this too much. I would probably be having or working with quite a few tools around me. But what you can do, which is what I do, is turn that around. Oh, and I've ripped it. I shouldn't do what I've just done there. Okay, now the next lot, and so it's quite clean there. Next one, Red Iron Oxide shade 380.3. Another one which I use a lot. Next one, Burnt Sienna 740. Here we go. And the next one is Orange Extra Dark, 280.1. Doesn't look like orange, does it? But yeah, it's quite cool. I'll have to use this one because I've just torn it. Next one, Raw Umber, 780.5. And what I'll do is I will put all the colours in the description box below, so you can refer to it if you wish. And this one I can't pronounce. Diarylide, yellow tint, 250.8. Just let me change that around there. It's still got some of the old colour on there. There we go. There we go. Yeah, pretty good. Next lot. This is neutral grey tint, 820.7. I use this quite a bit if I wanted to tone down. If I've got too much yellow, or if I've got too much of this colour, I usually tone it down with this, or this one here. And this one, almost you could be using for highlights too. This particular, I beg your pardon, Raw Umber Tint, 780.8. I really enjoy working with Panpastels. It feels like I'm painting with a brush, yet when the colour goes down, it feels like a pastel. Not as messy as soft pastels, although I love soft pastels as well. And this, this one was Red Iron Oxide Tint, 380.8. Next one is 280.8 Orange Tint. Here we go. Lovely. And Burnt Sienna Tint, 740.8. Now, these are the colours that I use. There are so many colours that you would use for portraits or skin tones. You could be using blues and purples, depending on where your light source is coming from. So you're not limited. Well, you're not limited to something like this. But this is just what I use. Now, of course, I've got here titanium white, which is 100.5, as you can see, a much loved pan. Very, very valuable. Now, I'm also going to do is to show you just a little test on blending. And typically, I would probably start with something like this. That would be Red Iron Oxide Extra Dark, depending on what skin tone I'm trying to achieve. But just say this one here. Now you can blend this on a separate bit of paper and then start painting with it. Or you can blend on your artwork and say, for example, let's try this one now. Look how nice that blends. And of course, let's try the Burnt Sienna tint. That one was the Burnt Sienna. Look at that. That's terrific. Try just a little bit more. There we go. Let's try another shade. Let's try the neutral grey shade. That's 820. So for example, maybe you know, around the jaw line or just underneath the neck where the shading takes place. And of course, probably try a neutral grey tint here. And now a little bit of Raw Umber Tint. There you go. So this is just a small example of what I do when it comes to when it comes to skin tones in my paintings. What I'd like to do is perhaps maybe introduce some of the papers that I use and have used recently, but that will probably be in another video. Thank you for stopping by, and if you can give it a thumbs up. Until the next time.